Totally fine. Now what we need to do, it is super valuable that you guys know how to keep your files organized. Let's refocus here. Sorry, I know there's a little disjointed with me popping around, but now let's refocus on the Zoom room so I can tell you what we got going on next. Keeping your files organized is something very boring. It's not fun to talk about. It's not fun to show off, but it is something that will save your butt when you need to find something later so that you don't have to search through a sea of document 150 down to document like, I think the highest number I saw on a student's was like 300 or like 400, just all called document number. We're not doing that in here, okay? You guys are old enough to organize your files. There's a way that works for me. It might not work exactly for you, but there is some general kind of guidelines that we can all follow so that I know what your files could be, and you know what my files could be. It's just a way to keep everything nice and organized. So some vocab. Whenever I'm talking about on the Zoom room, you can see my, I'm sharing the wrong screen, sorry. Let me fix that. Okay. Whenever I'm talking about the File Explorer, I'm talking about this yellow icon right here. This is the thing that you manage your files with. Shocker, right? Yours will look a little different from mine. I like having dark mode enabled. I think it's easier on the eyes. But your File Explorer is going to look something like this. As long as your OneDrive, this is called a destination. As long as your OneDrive thing in the list over here on the left, what side is that? The left-hand side says issaquah.wednet. You're signed in and you're syncing, which is what we're looking for. So if you go into there, you can see mine is organized by year and then by semester and then by class. You do not have to go as deep as I do. All that you need for this class in your OneDrive is a folder for Future Ready. That Future Ready folder is going to grow as we do different types of assignments versus projects, or however you like to organize your files. But you need a Future Ready folder in your OneDrive in order for everything to be correctly saved. If your File Explorer looks like this, if you don't have the tools at the top, you can double click on any of these buttons up here, Home, Share, or View. If you click on them twice, it's going to keep that little set of tools attached to the top of your screen. So what we're going to do here is just create a new folder, call it Future Ready. That's really all you need to do. However, if you want to copy my example, I have a folder per year, and then per semester, and then per class. So I have a third period Future Ready folder already, and then that is some documentation for me as a teacher, which will not show. But that's really all you need to get your file structure set up for this class. Make sense? Okay. Today is a little bit on the boring side, but however, there's a couple of things that I want to just go over. This is really important, especially if you have your work saved and you don't want to lose it. This is the best way to do it. So since these are Microsoft PCs and OneDrive is a Microsoft product, if the internet ever goes out or the power goes out or something weird happens where you are, it's not able to update, it's not able to sync it to the internet. The cool part is it does save a local version that will get uploaded later on. So there is a little bit of backup. There's a little bit of kind of a safety net just in case anything bad were to happen to your files. Using OneDrive is a way to actually keep them somewhat on the hard drive, but most of the time they're saved to the cloud and they're in a safe spot, accessible at a later date. Caden, what's up?
The hackers still hack your OneDrive so that it's not safe?
They can, but we've nothing that hackers want, so they're not going to be looking in our folders. Okay, so we covered the Zoom room. We'll get lots of practice with this. You'll know what I'm talking about. Also, the Zoom rooms are typically going to have a time that you need to join them by, whether that's within 5 minutes of class starting, or whether that's after a specific activity, or if there's no Zoom room at all, it's always going to be up here in the agenda with the class, the dates. And I also like to put kind of what we're covering, what we're talking about in between those three things. So it's kind of like your header for your essays. It's got the date, what we're doing, and whether or not we have a Zoom room. So let's go over what we've covered so far. We did Zoom room practice plus the example that we're currently in. We ran updates, and it's the main teaching tool I like to use. We logged into OneDrive, always look for the blue clouds, make sure we're all syncing. It's the first place you should save your work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we got through the first two goals that I set for this class today. Now we have a quote unquote study hall. My philosophy in general is that the reward for finishing your work should not be more work. Okay? You used your time effectively, used your class time effectively, you did what you needed to do. If you finish what I'm asking of you, then the time becomes yours. However, the rule on that, the stipulations, the asterisks, whatever you want to call them, right? You have to finish your work and submit it, as well as not be distracting to the students around you in order for you to do whatever else it is you need to do in my class. You got to finish my stuff first, and then you can do other stuff. Okay, that's all I ask. Pretty easy bar to meet, I think. But once we cover everything I need, which is just these two things currently, the time is yours. All right. So I know some of you are joining into this class, or it's your first day in with scheduling changes. That's fine. Now we have some time that I can actually help you catch up, and that's it. Basically, just help you get caught up. Does that make sense? Okay. Last thing I want to talk about. Since these videos are being recorded, I have to have a place to put them. It's just going to be on YouTube. Totally optional. But if you're interested, I need some YouTube thumbnails for these videos. Because right now it just kind of gives me the boring like default space, which I am not, or like the default thumbnails, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So if you want to, you can spend this time creating some YouTube thumbnails and start seeing some of your work on my page. You totally don't have to. Got to emphasize that this is optional. But if you want some context for what students in the past have made, I can give you some examples. Okay, there's one. There's another one. That one I made just to have as like a default. Okay, there's another one. A lot of graphic design skills happening here. There's a lot of directions that you could go. There's another one, right? These are all student made. And I think it's fun to show off what you guys are coming up with. I think it's funny, gives you a chance to, I don't know, put your own personal brand on these teaching tools that you can access later on. Let's see what else we got. That one's a popular one. I use that one a lot. I think I use that one for first period, right? It's just something fun that if you have some extra time and you want to do, you want to create me some YouTube thumbnails, I'm totally game. As long as they're school appropriate, you can go whatever direction you'd like. You can take them seriously. You can go the Mr. Beast kind of clickbait direction. I don't mind. As long as they're school appropriate, I'm happy to see what you guys come up with. And that's all I've got for you guys today. We finished what we needed to do. I'm going to help those who need to catch up. I'll help you do that, process this video and show you where to find it. But that's all we need to do for Future Ready today. It's boring, but it's easy at the same time. Before I turn all this off, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? No? All right, sweet. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to go off the air. Time is now yours. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Okay. Oh, I thought I ended the